thing, it just kind of came together perfectly. And
Absolutely.
some numbers I like to always cite for people because we're all in our own little Twitter silos. So on Twitter, there were over 500 submissions using the blue CCO. In the Discord, we had over 300 submissions. So if you guys ever are lazy or bored, you can put in the Twitter search box, BLEU, and maybe Tjo or something, and you can literally just scroll for an hour. It was unbelievable how much traction that got and how many people participated.
Yeah,
Blew my mind.
for real. No, it really did spark like its own wave, which I just thought was so sick. And I think that obviously that had to do in part with how great of an artist Tjo is, but it was also just how many people got involved and reciprocated and met new people and connected and stuff because of it. It was really like a beautiful little moment that had happened there.
Very well said. Yeah. Yeah. But to kind of put a cap in your original question, since then, I've just been spending a lot of time. It's really become almost a second full-time job, running the community, doing these calls and participating. And it's just been a lot of fun. I'm loving it, man.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah. So you had mentioned a little bit of NBA Top Shot in the beginning there. Have you been a collector of various different things through the entirety of your life, or was that sort of like a divine timing drop in the bucket where you just sort of did that one time and that led you into NFTs and collecting art?
Great question. So I've never really been a collector. Yeah, growing up, I had a hardcore Pokemon phase, had all the Pokemon cards. You got into Pokemon, right, Reddy?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Pokemon nerd. I'm probably gonna get the new one in a couple weeks.
Oh man, I'm so checked out on Pokemon. That is never gonna stop going. Yeah, so I was never really a collector.
I think you're probably right. I don't know what would ultimately get Pokemon to stop, but it is the number one highest grossing global IP, which is nuts.
Bananas. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's still pretty
So
serious.
so yeah, I was never a big collector. It was just a weird happenstance of timing. It happened to start a new job and finally have. I'm finally not completely broke. I'm just almost broke now. So that
Right.
offered me. I had a few bucks to spend on some things, and a pandemic had me shut inside the apartment. So I'm like, oh, this is great. And that NBA Top Shot thing, I will always hold on to this. That first discovering that and opening those first few packs and like seeing cards be live, it really gripped me. It really caught my imagination and like I felt that thing inside me that just like came alive and I was like, okay, this is what NFTs are. This is this whole thing. And I've held on to that until now.
Yeah. No, you know what? The first NFT that you get, like, it really does sort of represent something with you, whether it was good or bad. You almost feel this intrinsic attachment to it because it was like either your first lesson or your first win in the space. So it's like, it's very rare that people have a neutral experience attached to their first NFTs.
That's for sure. I think we all have some pretty extreme experiences with our first NFTs.
I would agree. What would you say has been your most extreme experience in the space? Because for a little bit there, it was a bit Wild Westy, and I think that a lot of people had some pretty crazy experiences happen.
Yeah, man. I mean, on Wrecked Mondays, I just did the quick little thing of, my first NFT I bought on Nifty Gateway was a Steve Aoki NFT. It was an
Oh
open
wow!
edition he did. The open edition was it $1,500, I believe? Maybe 20. No, it was $2,500 for the open edition, and it minted 381 of them. Absolutely insane. So, that stuff I was doing, I was in the early Nifty Gateway days where everyone was buying everything and trying to flip it.
Right.
That was its own thing. But, where my mind goes when you ask that is just being an X copy holder. So when things got really, really bad last year, around May, June, July, X copies Afterburn was selling for $1,000.
Right.
And I bought two of them. I sent one to my ex's wallet,
Mm-hmm.
and I had one myself, and I sold it. But thank God I wasn't able to sell that other one in my ex's wallet, because come December, X Copy did his big drop, and he released Grifters. And through that, I was able to qualify for the drawing to get a grifter, and I got crazy lucky and won a grifter. So
Wow.
holding on to those two things since, I would say, is one of the coolest experiences I've had.
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's definitely a substantial win that I would remember for quite some time if I were you. And I think that that's sort of what a lot of these things represent to a lot of us, is like not buying something with the explicit intent of a big return like that, but the true unmatched dopamine you receive from investing in something that you believed in just because you believed in it at the time, and seeing it get crazy recognition or blow up to some crazy lofty price is insane. It's an insane experience to see something that you just thought was cool have its heyday like that. And I think that's one of the best things that we've seen sort of take shape in Web3.
For sure, for sure. And I think that was a lot of last year's Web3. And I mean, it still is. It's still a big part of it. Like, all you artists that I'm buying your work, of course, I'd love you to shoot to the moon like X Copy and have that dopamine hit. But, I think you're with me that in a lot of ways the game is changing. It's not, going into the casino and pulling the lever on some PFPs and maybe
Oh,
one
definitely
shoots to the
not.
moon.
Yeah, it was like 1 in 50 PFPs was like destined to like 10x or something like that. Like it was pretty wild just a short time ago, and I think now we're in a completely different meta where we may never see that replicated again to that scale with the projects that are being released.
Agreed, agreed. And something else I wanted to share that looking back on 2021, I think myself as a collector, I was trying to have a foot in both sides of it. I was trying to have one foot in PFPs and speculating and flipping and doing all that, while I had another foot in art that I truly loved and wanted to keep and buy and hold and cared about, and community and all those other things. And I think that costed me a lot, to be blunt about it. You know, Doing a half-ass job of investing and flipping in PFPs is a really good way to lose a lot of money, I learned.
Yeah.
So, you kind of got to be all in on one or the other. You either got to be a cold-blooded buyer that's, faking like you're supporting artists and you're flipping their work because
Sure.
it goes up in value, or you kind of got to be completely on the other side. And that's where I'm finally finding some comfort. Like, I'm buying these things to put up on my wall and to have in my collection for a long
Right.
time. And that's my sort of thing going forward, is like, I'm going to show off my collection, and that is my value, not
Right.
making dollars from flipping my collection.
Right. 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 I think that I think that there's a lot of respect to the approach that you've now taken to this, because you are buying with not only like your gut instinct, but with your heart and with your like head and I guess aligned as well. Like you've sort of synced up with your purchases in this new regard.
Dude, that's it. It's alignment. You nailed it. Yeah, much less words.
Well, yeah, I mean it's just trying to find the right balance between what you're putting your finances into, because as things even now, like as they get tighter and markets change, you can only spread your wealth so thin before you're completely broken. You got to make your plays intellectually if you want to make sure that you can stay in the game.
Damn right.
Yeah. So let's see. We've already gone through the basics here of who you are and what you do. Would you say that there's anything that you personally want to do in Web3 creatively, like on the like not so distant horizon?
Ooh, yeah, maybe some just mini tiny alpha. Um, I am starting to work with a couple different artists on curating some drops.
Oh, hell
Um,
yeah.
and what I'm actually excited in that is being able to work directly with the artists. So I've been trying to expand myself a little bit and touch that creative side. So I've really been getting into writing some poems, writing down my thoughts more often, and having a lot of back and forth with guys like you, man. It's crazy inspiring.
Oh man,
Um,
I'm happy to contribute in any way. That's one of my main goals as a creative myself, is to inspire others to do it themselves, because anyone can find a creative outlet for themselves. They just have to figure out what they respond to and what they feel like putting the time into, because even though people look at what I do and they're like, wow, that's amazing, like, I can't believe you did that or whatever, it's like, that didn't happen in one day. Like, I've been practicing this essentially, like, since I've been old enough to hold these tools in my hand. Like, every little doodle is another drop in the bucket of practicing and getting you to this moment. So it's like, whatever you respond to creatively, I encourage you to follow it to whatever extent you're able to, that makes you feel like you've communicated your thoughts to someone else.
I love that. Um, that reminds me of a mediocre quote. I don't love the quote, but it has something with it. It's your hobbies become you. You
Oh yeah.
know, not a great quote. It's a little strong, but that's what it makes me think, man. Like, if you all of a sudden weren't able to do all of those things for the next week, how would you feel? Probably pretty miserable,
Yeah. Oh,
you
definitely.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking to expand that creative side, and if I can do a personal shill here, I'm also looking to work in Web3. I've had some good success professionally,
Oh hell
in
yeah.
my world, and so I'm looking to find a way to bridge that over to Web3.
Yeah. What sort of skills do you feel like you offer? You have the, you have the floor. So please tell us more about what you bring to the table, because that's really what Burrito Dow is all about. We love getting perspective from anyone who's involved in the space. We want to hear from collectors, creatives, security developers, anyone who has a unique angle or take on what they're doing here is who we want to have a conversation with. So please tell us all about yourself.
Dude, I first of all, I love that sentiment, because I don't know if you feel the same, but so often I feel like I don't know what I don't know around here. There's plenty of collectors and companies and DAOs and whatever doing all sorts of things, but it all seems to just be a little bit hidden. Um, so I need to learn more about that. But yeah, as far as my skills, the kind of Cliff's notes that I like to share is I've always been good at explaining complicated and difficult new technologies, to potential buyers and partners. So historically, I've worked in solar. I was way ahead of the curve in solar, LED lighting, and now I work in electric vehicles. Um, so really, what I've done is I've helped all sorts of different startups grow and connect with customers, stakeholders, partners, cities, whatever it may be. But just explaining difficult to understand technologies and new financial models, whatever it may be, to these new stakeholders, because I think that's a difficult thing to do. Um, and that's where I see it fitting in Web3. No one has any fucking clue what NFTs are or what any of this means or what Web3 means. But I would love to be able to say, Bank of America wants to do something in NFTs. Who do they call? I don't know. Who do they call? Ready? I have no idea.
Right.
But
Right.
if I
Call
could figure out who
burritos.
they call, yeah, call the Burrito DAO, and then maybe Burrito DAO can hire me to be head of partnerships or something. So I have no
Imagine.
idea where I'm going with this, but does that make some sense?
No, of course it does. I think that I believe the gist of what you were saying is communication, like sort of like bridging one group to another through an aligned purpose or like unified cause.
Yeah,
I think that's incredibly valuable in so many different ways.
yeah. So the best place to start is starting to speak it out into the universe and starting to do that, and we'll see.
Definitely. So I think that was a fantastic pitch. I would hope that anyone listening who has any position for you reaches out to you. You are someone that I also think is a thoroughly wonderful person. I'm very happy to be having this conversation. Thank you for sitting down with us. Truly, it is always a pleasure to have our guests spend time with us. And I guess my next question will be, what's a typical night like for you as someone in the space? What do you do most nights that you are hanging out in Web3?
Oh man, I mean, I'm chilling in the Discord, talking to all sorts of people in the Discord. I may be prepping for one of our various different calls on the side. Um, Probably scrolling Twitter way too much, looking at art and then navigating to art that I want to buy, and then seeing that I don't have enough ETH, and then going to the next one. Um, yeah, man, I think that's.
Very real.
But my real issue that I'm stuck with right now, though, is that it's an addiction being on this phone, being on all these different apps, and what I've had difficulties doing, and what we alluded to earlier is just having a creative outlet time set
Sure.
aside. And that's what I see so many of you do. You're like, hey, now I'm going to go do art. I'm not going to respond to anything. You're not going to hear from me. So that's what I'm really trying to implement now is a couple hours at the end of the night to, talk with these different artists, work on my own things, and really kind of scratch that creative itch.
That's awesome. That's I think that's a really solid and effective way to get yourself into a series of good habits. And I hope that you find more of the opportunity for the creative outlet because it clearly sounds like you have passion for it, and I think that that's the major place to start. So I'm excited to see where you go with that. Um, what are some of your favorite sources of media that you feel drive you? Do you feel that when it comes to a creative approach, you will have any like specific catalog of references that you like to pull from?
Nope.
Okay. No, that's awesome.
I like TV shows. I'm a big fan of comedy and TV shows.
Nice. What are some of your favorite shows?
Oh man, I'm always bad at doing these off the top of my head. I was just talking about Nathan for You.
Oh,
If anyone
Nathan for you.
here, yeah.
Awesome.
If y'all haven't
Big
watched
Nathan fan.
Nathan for You, you just have to.
Yeah. No, that's a given.
Um, I don't even know, man. I don't know all the shows. I like Hulu a lot.
Hulu's great. I'm very grateful for the Hulu. Um
Yeah. What do you watch, Ready?
let's see. I recycle a lot of shows. I just will put something on in the background just to have some noise on. So like I'll go through Trailer Park Boys or Always Sunny or um a lot
Love
of
Always Sunny.
yeah, I love Always Sunny. I've been a big fan of for a long time. I watch a lot of documentaries. There's this one YouTube channel that I really like called Histocrat. They've got some pretty crazy documentaries about like yokai and druids and like all these different like occult like subgroups and stuff throughout history. And they're like some of them are like 3 hours long, so it's really good to just throw one of those on for a good long while. But
Oh yeah, I'm on it here. We got some Bigfoot. I'm
yeah.
liking it.
Oh yeah, no, Histocrat's cool, and because I also try to find a lot of good documentaries, just because there's so many things that we don't learn about in school, or we'll learn about like for like literally a quarter of a second, and then just completely like blow past, and it'll actually be something like relatively significant.
Of course.
Like when I was in high school, I thought one of the craziest things that we didn't learn about was like Waco. And I think like Waco is one of the craziest like experience or like one of the craziest events that's happened in U.S. history, and I don't even remember learning about it not a single time.
Oh yeah, we here in the U.S. we did everything perfectly. We were never racist. We never murdered any people
Sure.
unfairly or anything crazy like that. No, nothing to see
Not,
here.
not these guys. So let's see. Do you have any hmm. When it comes to your approach to curation, do you feel that you're going to be trying to convey a specific idea, or are you going to go for something that more so unifies an aesthetic cohesively as the main focus?
Ooh, I wanna say both.
Nice.
Um, yeah, I want it to be both. I want it to be 100% what the artist wants to do and the artist's vision. And uh, with all this stuff, I just want to be a platform and a vessel for others to get eyeballs on their art and to get their art into wallets. And I think the best way to do that is to really channel whatever the artist wants to do. And then I love the idea of doing a two, three, four, five-piece set that all kind of goes into something similar, some sort of story. Yeah, man, it's so much better that way.
Definitely. Do you feel that you have always had a sort of like drive towards the creative side of things growing up, or is this something that really only developed recently?
So the creative side, I think, is more a recent development. But something I've always been very thankful for is just how open-minded I've been throughout my life. I think I've been able to get into some really unique things and unique opportunities just by being completely open-minded, non-judgmental, um, you know, befriending everyone possible. I think, yeah, I'm kind of rambling here, but
Nah, this is fun.
yeah, I think the open-mindedness is really what's kind of brought me here. I have absolutely no shame in saying that I don't know shit about art. I've never taken any art history. I don't know anything. But it's okay to not know anything and still enjoy what you see and still participate
Absolutely.
and learn. Yeah.
I mean, I have a relatively controversial take. I don't think anyone needs to know art history. Like, if you want to learn about it, great. But like, if you just like art now and you're inspired by the art around you that you see, like, that's good enough. I don't know why anyone should have to be responsible for what people did in the 1500s or the 1800s or whenever the classics were made. I've always kind of just thought like explore the art that you feel is most relevant to you. Like I did my senior thesis on rubber hose animation and how I thought it was going to have a resurgence at like 100 years because that's just like a major media cycle and so many things are coming back into popularity. And that was really rewarding for me because I thought it was the most relevant thing that like I could have possibly looked into for myself creatively, and it's something that I feel has paid off in my artwork that like I still am grateful for to this day. But if you're not interested in the artwork that you're exploring, like it's not going to hit you the same. And there's so much artwork out there, you can never possibly see it all. You'll never be able to do that in your entire life. So just try to explore what you do like as much as you can and really find a fundamental understanding of the things that shape and inspire you as best as you're able to.
I love that, ready. I love that, ready. And the last thing you said there is like I'm having troubles just with all of the art right here that's coming out. I can't keep
Yeah.
up with it. I feel like some of my best friends here do a release and it goes on auction for 24 hours and I see it like 2 hours after it happened. I'm like, wait, but I've been on Twitter and Discord this entire time. What?
Yep.
Yeah, there's just so much.
No, it is overwhelming, and I think that a lot of people can sympathize with that. Do you have any advice on how to mitigate that in any way? I mean, it's definitely an issue, but I think it's something worth talking about for a little bit here.
No, I think I could use some advice on how to better handle it. But the one piece of advice I will say towards artists coming from a collector, um, don't have shame reaching out to a collector to share that you dropped something or you released something or something's on auction. Like that is not so much spam. It's spam when I'm not following you and I get that DM and it goes to my like trash DMs or something. That's spam. If we're friends, if we're hanging out in the Discord, literally anyone on this call, like if you have something that you're doing, send it to me and maybe I'll look at it, maybe I won't. But so many things that I have in my collection, I didn't know it existed, and they sent me a DM that's like, "Hey, this just dropped," and then I grabbed it, or "Hey, it's been sitting here for so long, please take a look," and that's prompted me to make so many of my purchases. Like, you know, to gain an advantage as a collector, to get dope art, I think that's more the angle you have to go. Like, that's the angle I want to go. I don't want to go to the Nifty Gateway drop that mints 400 pieces. I just
Right.
don't. I want to be uh I can't quite be a one of one collector, but I want to be as close to that as I can. So yeah, it just, to all you guys, like, bother the collectors, man.
Yeah.
And when a DM is ignored, do not worry about it. My DMs are a goddamn mess, and I think everyone's DMs are a mess, and that's where I could use some advice as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, D- DM clutter is like something that the only advice I can say is like try to mitigate that at least on a semi regular basis. Really try to go through and like have at least even a set time where you'll go through and check it, because it's like it only gets worse, and if you never deal with it, it's never gonna go away. Like
Boom.
there's
It's
just
a
nothing
job.
you can do about it.
It's a job. I had Nevin in here. He sent me a DM yesterday, and I finally checked it today. And I clicked the link, and he had sold out 7 minutes before. I
Wow.
was like, "Damn it!"
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's
So
brutal.
perfect example.
Or also take advantage of pins. Pin your most important messages to the top, or turn on alerts specifically on specific like weeks when you know someone has made an announcement or something.
I didn't know that. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's
I'm
some little.
pinning you, Slug. I'm pinning you, buddy.
There you go. Get them on a list. You can also, yeah, I think you can also arrange Twitter now into lists. So
I
like
hear
you
that
can,
is really useful.
yeah, I got to start doing that myself.
Yeah, got to do it. All this stuff takes time, and like dude, the advice I have with Discord is mute all of your notifications on Discord and choose your three most important channels, and then go into those channels and only unmute, certain channels for at
Right.
everyone. Like, all of us are just inundated with notifications and messages. Like, honestly, it's been a to share a little bit more, like, I've really had some struggles these past, what, 3 months now. Like, dude, 4 months ago I could tweet just about anything and I'd have one or two likes. I mean, half of you guys I didn't even know 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
But now when I wake up in the morning, I have like, I'm sure plenty of you have more notifications than me, but I have what seems to be an overwhelming amount of notifications and messages, and I just can't keep up with it, man. It's
Yeah,
hard.
dude. I think everyone just reaches a point where they like have to tap out. It really it takes a lot out of people.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
only
but
give
at the same
so much.
time, it's also positive, right? Like, I want to be doing this stuff and not doing my day job.
Sure. Yeah, man. I
Catch
mean,
22.
obviously way more exciting.
Yeah, not even close, dude.
Yeah. Do you feel that your main goal is to eventually like work full time in Web3?
Yeah, yeah,
Hell
definitely. Um I'm figuring out how to make that happen. Um but it kind of hit home a few months ago. I shared this with my therapist, and shared my situation with a few other folks, and I say, yeah, I don't like my job for yada yada reasons, and they're like, oh, well, what are you interested in? And I'm like, well, it's this thing that you know nothing about, and I'm going to give you a really terrible description of what it is.
yeah.
um,
Right.
but then my face would light up, right? I would get excited and I'd get louder, and like my volume would go up. And I noticed that the feedback I got over and over from those people were, they're like, whoa, you seem to really enjoy this. You ever
Right.
think about like maybe making this a full thing and going all in? I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So I got to do that. I got to figure out how to do it. Um, I have some debt, I have some expenses, I make good money now, but I also live in Los Angeles. Rent is expensive, food is expensive, gas
Hey,
is
man,
expensive.
I get it.
Yeah, so, it's like, well, I could move to the boonies right now and just be by myself and just be like full-time NFTs, but then, well, I'd lose my network here in real life. But at the same
Right.
time, more and more, my network is you guys.
Right. Online.
Yeah.
So it almost like I think a lot of people that have been fortunate in Web3, they kind of agree that the freedom of being able to travel sort of when and where they want, because most of their work, if not all of their work, is done remotely.
Yeah. Yeah, if you don't mind me asking you, Reddy, where are you at with this? I mean, do you have a regular job? You doing school?
So
You doing this full time? What's up?
I'm full time. I've had a couple months here and there where things were pretty darn tight, but I've been fortunate enough to meet enough successes by the skin of my teeth, and the fortunate experiences that I've had, and the support of others. I've managed to get through every month so far, but I've contemplated recently, after some plays didn't exactly pan out the way that I thought they would. I've given some consideration just to getting like some sort of relevant part-time job, just for a little bit of stability and regularity, because the stress of like always having to pull it together, and like relying on your art does eventually like get to a point where you can get burnt out by it. And not saying that I have. I think I'm just looking for something to be a little bit more reliable as things in the Web3 market get a little bit more uncertain again.
Dude, I'm glad you shared that. I think that's a real thing, man. Like if I just sit here and just do my day job all day every day, it's overwhelming. I think, getting a dude, like a Starbucks job that like 12 hours a week, you got to show up 3 days for 4 hours or something. And then it's just something that kind of keeps you a little honest and gets you outside, gets you into
Yeah.
just a different headspace.
No, that's literally another way that I've been looking at it. Like, I've been working freelance for a really long time now, and to get out of the house is not a bad thing. And during the pandemic, we were all kind of trapped inside for a while, and getting back out there just for something, and like the degree of socializing, or the change of environment is something that can be good for anybody.
Oh yeah, that's what I've struggled with, you know. It makes a huge difference when I'm able to take a walk at 5 p.m., call someone, do a talk like this. Um,
Absolutely, man.
it's huge. We can only spend so much time in specific mind states. We need to get out of them and go back into them. Otherwise, it's just not productive.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Do you feel that there's any one specific thing that people should avoid in terms of like not getting stuck, or creatively exhausted too quickly in the Web3 space, because it really does move quite fast?
Yeah, dude, it moves really fast. Man, I think just it's the real world stuff, man. It's that Twitter is a drug and an addiction, and it's made to distract you from things. And the unfortunate part of all of this is Twitter is essential for your success.
Yeah,
So so I don't know what the answer is in there, but I can point out the problem that yeah, Twitter's really bad for you, but it's also really good for you.
right.
And just saying that I think is enough. It's not enough, but it's a start.
No, but that it's that complex relationship that we all now have with social media. It's kind of nuts to think about. Like, we're in this position where we all sort of have to juggle this other relationship with how we socialize on a device, compared to just literally like 20 or so years ago at this point, mostly having to worry about just what was in your personal circle. And now we're so interconnected, we have these completely separate sectors of our lives.
Yeah, dude, it's so bananas. Our parents just went through life and like went to work and then they went home and your world was just it was home. It was the things
Right.
around you. It's
Right.
just
No, dude,
it's so simple.
oh my God. The simplicity is just off the charts.
Yeah, again, good and bad.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say something there, but I forgot.
Oh, my bad. I'm sure I interrupted.
Oh, you didn't. Not no, you didn't at all, actually.
So, we're talking about just the overall climate of Web3 here. And I guess one of the things that I'm curious about is why do you want to go full time in this space? What do you feel is so worth pursuing and worth solidifying for yourself here? Because I'm sure, I have my own reason for it, but I think we all find our own reason to stick around.
Yeah, it's happiness. It's very, very simple. It's
Sure.
just pure happiness. Um, I'm not starting from the point of I need to make X number of dollars. I'm starting from the point of this makes me happy, and how do I figure out how I can make this more happy or have this, make me happy 24/7 as opposed to just a few hours each day.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm looking at. Oh, and I did remember what I was going to say was I wanted to get some feedback from you, Reddy, or
Oh,
anyone from the audience afterwards. It's like,
yeah.
with the disconnecting.
Up.
What's that? Sorry.
Sorry, I meant to say we can start bringing other people up or open it up to requests if
Oh,
anybody wants to ask a question or sort of just contribute to discussion. Because obviously you just said you wanted some feedback, Hilda. So I'm happy to open up the floor, get a little bit of other perspective in there, not just me and Hilda going back and forth. Joe, please feel free to contribute. But, this has been a wonderful conversation so far, and I'm happy to include some other people in here.
yeah, ready. Go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm chilling, having a great time, just enjoying the space.
We got Kai up here.
Hiya.
What is going
How's
on?
it going? How's it going? Hey, Hilda. Hey, Joe. My burrito lords, man. Nah, shout out to the entire burrito, just Dow and everybody in it. Y'all are definitely solid people, bro. Great people. Great things y'all are doing.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Right back at you. Your work is incredible. Thank you for coming up and stopping by.
Hey, man. Anytime I can talk all day. You know.
Yeah, I feel I love having these conversations. They're always the highlight of my day.
But Hilda, what were you gonna say? Please, I'm ready to listen, man.
Yeah. So the TJO Discord. You know, usually a Discord in my day, it has 10 mods that are monitoring things 24/7. Obviously, Tijo does it differently, and I love that. I love that he just keeps it bare bones, simple. Um, but as far as like we were talking about with the disconnecting and turning Twitter off and getting away, I find myself constantly a little bit in conflict that I should be monitoring the Discord and making sure, but at the same time, I do need to step away, and I've been doing a lot better job of that these past maybe 2 weeks or so. But it's always a question like, am I not around enough? Should I be around more? I don't know. It's any feedback.
I mean, shit. Personally, it can be like a solution for it. It can literally be maybe we have people balancing out like whenever you feel like you need a break or something. Because there are people who definitely would love to be in there 24/7, like monitoring things, just purely off the strength for Tijo, and
Do
for
that.
the Discord. And then it's also like, what if we shut down the Discord on certain days and we're like, go outside. There's nothing to do here.
Oh, oh, there's
I
there.
love that idea.
Do that. That's a good idea.
Oh, that'd be hard, man. It'd be like, go outside. Don't even try to come talk to us today. We're closed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
No, seriously, I could do that. That wouldn't be too difficult. I could just lock all the channels and like you literally can't
Oh my,
interact with
oh my
anything.
god.
Dude, no, that's
God.
a good idea.
Definitely sharing that with Tijo. I think that's a great idea. But that's great feedback. That's feedback I'm looking for, man.
Anytime.
No, I think that'll be excellent. I great idea.
Yeah, but and to be clear, like the Discord, yeah, I'm managing it and shit, whatever that means, but like it's you guys. Like it doesn't exist without you guys being in there and making it a living thing, right? So I don't think I need to be there, honestly.
Oh, that's not true at all. You lead the show. You literally are the glue that holds it together on Mondays.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I want to keep, I'm not trying to actually step away. It's just more just like a thought exercise that like this is me helping facilitate a space for just all of you guys to connect and grow your creativity, get eyeballs, get collectors, whatever it may be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, I think we all feel that way. I mean, I really think
Good.
that what you're seeking to create is what you've already got under your belt with the Discord server and the way it operates. I think that anyone that hangs out there can totally attest that it's probably one of their favorite environments to talk about art.
I love that. Awesome.
Yeah, man. Like I said, aside from the Burrito DAO spaces, Rec Mondays is one of the most, looked at. Sorry, totally going to restructure that sentence. I look forward to Rec Mondays like just as much as I look forward to the Burrito DAO stuff just about every week, because it really is always a conversation that I'm looking forward to listening to because of either who's involved or the direction I can predict it to go in. Like it's one of those things that it's become a constant in my life that I look forward to fondly.
Dude, I'm so with you, and I'll be joining this from now on.
Oh, hell yeah, man. We're really happy to have you here. Yaga just came on up. Thanks for being here.
What's up, bro?
Shout out the legend, Hilda. Yo. Not much from my side. I'm just here to give Hilda flowers for now. It's funny, the other night I was like, man, I'm not on Discord anymore. I should probably just delete the whole app. And then I was like, oh no, I'm there for like Direct Mondays, so I can't even do that. But yeah, like Buddy said, like Direct Mondays is literally one of the very, very few reasons why I still even have the Discord app. So shout out to Hilda, amazing person. We had a conversation not too long ago, and genuinely every time I speak with Hilda or I'm in a space with Hilda, it's just like good vibes and just genuine energy. So big shout out to Hilda. Much love to the guy.
Ditto, dude. You're awesome on these, and you're a hell of an artist.
Yeah, man. You've been cooking up some real heat lately.
Hey, this is not about me. This is about Hilda. Okay, let's focus on Hilda.
No,
I don't like this focus.
Yeah, everyone gets.
No, I have an actual question about your sippy. What is it like? It's a video game with bees? Because I have an alien sippy, and I don't know if we're like from the same family or if you're a frog too.
Oh my god, I love that question. So I messaged Subtle Bubble and I was like, okay, I need my grifter incorporated. I need some Tijo Bleu. And then I need some Thank You X styling. So the head is my grifter, and there's a little bit of bleu in the jacket there. And then it's really small, but the pants they just have all sorts of colors on them, and it's very Thank You X style.
Oh, gotcha. I've always wondered that. I was like, is he like a gamer guy, or are those bees or like flies on top of the head?
I think they're flies.
They look like flies.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're flies.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no,
I'm hoping one day those grifters, in the future, if the bull market ever returns, that'd be fun to see those go. But like, I can't sell that.
Yeah,
maybe I can.
Yeah, no, that's it. Everything has its price eventually, I think.
It does. I got to make some money at some point in here, guys.
Yeah.
I've just been spending money for 2 years now.
I can't be too stupid, unless it's like truly irreplaceable.
Exactly.
We had Bohan come on up. What you got to say tonight, Bohan?
no,
Yo,
I'm gonna
what's
cut
up?
you right there. I'm sorry. I have to do this. It's Boyan with a Y.
Oh yeah,
I've
sorry.
been
No, that's
Yo,
please correct me. Thank you.
I've been in
no, bro.
way too many spaces, and then every time they say his name, I have to pop up. So just to clarify
Yo,
for
yeah,
everybody, it's Boyan with a Y.
yeah, Yaga. You know it already. Yeah, I think my name is a conversation on every space I go. Cause someone calls me Bojan, someone calls me Bohan, and yeah, it's Bojan. Cause the J is pronounced like a Y in our language. But I don't mind it. By the way, don't worry about it. Yeah, I was just gonna say shout out Hilda and shout out to you, Reddy. I think you're a great host, and
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
I was also gonna say I think Hilda has the best voice. I don't know, like I love hearing his voice. That's what I was gonna say. Like I think it's really like well sounded. How do I say it? I don't know the perfect word, but yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
No, I feel you.
Boyan, thank you, man. I'm very self-conscious about my voice.
You have a very positive sounding voice. A lot of energy
Exactly.
forward.
Yeah, exactly. Positive. That's the right word.
I remember learning early on, like when I was learning how to cold call people, my boss told me to make sure you're always smiling because you can hear in your voice when you're smiling.
Yes. No, that's so true. I think that that's something that you can always tell. And it's when that passion comes through that you can really tell that someone is excited, even in like a Twitter space.
Can I ask a question?
What up?
No,
So outside of creating, bro, like if you couldn't create and we were just here to be, whoever your persona allows you to be, do you think as many people would still be fulfilled or still feel some type of satisfaction? Because I mean, we would have to get off of like Twitter and all that to go outside. You know what I mean? Like I'm stuck in the house creating because that's just genuinely what the fuck I love to do. Like I don't mind it. But what if we didn't have this? What if it was something else? Like everybody was a pro bowler or some shit.
That would be crazy. The pro bowling economy.
Hell yeah.
You know what? If I could find some way to be creative in it, I would do some crazy bowling for a little while. Like maybe I get really into how to pour or like cast the bowling balls themselves, and you can start making like crazy like colors on them and shit.
that's Reddy's next project, bowling balls.
No,
Dude, I
I
would.
feel cringe. Sorry. I feel like whatever we choose to do is always creative. That's the individualism approach.
Oh
It's
yeah,
whatever. I want to make human-sized candles. I always say this. People ask me what I do, and I always tell them something else. I tell them I'm a farmer or I make candles or something like that. Why? Because
human
it doesn't
sized
matter.
candles is a wild one.
No,
That would
that
be
ass.
pretty sick.
Bro, I'm gonna do it. I say it as a joke, but like I'm really gonna do it, and then I'm gonna burn them probably on top of like a mountain when the sun is hitting, and when the person melts and shit, I'll have it on the time lapse. Watch
Hell
this.
yeah.
I'm
What
telling you.
what's the message you're trying to convey with that? Is there one, or is that just something you want to do visually?
Just visually, and the
Hell yeah.
message. I had a message like some years ago, but I forgot it. But it's not like I can't come to a analogy for it in my life. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Y'all know in Lord of the Rings when they start lighting those torches in the mountains to like signal each other. That's gonna be Kai. He's just gonna light them big ass candles up, and something's gonna go down. I don't know what, but something's gonna happen after that.
Are you gonna make them scented?
So that comes with. So listen, I have not researched or thought of the actual material. I've only thought of how could I make a mold? Okay, well if I make enough like wax inside of a pot, I can just fill up a mold. You know what I mean? If I can make something that can fit me, I can just put two pieces together. I can melt them or put them together somehow, and
Right,
then I go
right.
from there. But the scent, wouldn't I just have to like cut up like natural herbs and spices and shit like that and just mix it and make it?
Yeah, you could definitely do that.
Hell yeah. I'll put my skin and flesh in it. Kai scented.
Oh my god, that would be a horrible ritual. You would like summon a golem or something like that.
You summon me on demand. I just pop up like a genie. That's basically what it is.
How much do how much do you think the candle would cost? It's probably like 10 grand, right? That's a giant ass candle. A
No,
regular
no, no.
candle is like $60.
I mean, think of however tall or big a person is, right? It's not
Right.
even. I don't give a fuck about the money, bro. Genuinely, like I just need to know how to make it, and once I know how to make it, and I'm sustainable, and I can literally make the material for a mold every time. 10K, bro. If you want the candle of you, you can have it. Like you can have it in your crib. You know what I mean? You can burn it. You can burn it a little bit to a certain point, leave it there forever, whatever. You know what I mean?
You'll have to make a sculpture and then make a mold, or like make like like commission like a fiberglass studio to like make the character itself, and then you can just fill it with wax.
See, but that's expensive. So what if I did it in a very budget manner, right? What if I just dunked you in a little mold of, whatever wax or something you can get in a suit or something, you jump in face first and then you do one with your back turned, then now we got two pieces.
I want to believe that would work as flawlessly as that sentence came out, but I can't guarantee that would be inexpensive either way.
Why not? I can make the mold of you with imagine I did it with styrofoam or something, right? And then I filled the styrofoam with cool wax, and the wax cooled and stuff. Wouldn't it take the shape of the molded styrofoam? Or for any case,
because it'll melt styrofoam.
Okay, well, let's say metal or something. You know what I mean? Like a material that wouldn't just melt if I were to put the wax in.
Yeah, all those materials are the thing that's going to cost money because it's such a big project.
Damn. Well, shit, I'm finna have to get in my Bob the Builder shit.
You could cover yourself in man, I don't even know. I'm trying to think of what could actually be like a cost-effective way to do this. There's no way around having it be a large volume of something because of the shape that it is.
I got to, bro. I see. There's never say never. I don't know who said that, but that's facts. I just can't, bro. I can't go on my thought process of it has to be a sustainable way. I can't afford to do a 10K.
All right. So here's an idea for coming up with a safe thing to make the mold of. What if you carved a tree? Ooh. Like a solid enough tree that you could make a human shaped base out of the bottom of it.
But who can see what I don't have the skill level to carve a tree, right? And I believe that the entire self-taught process my self-taught process would be for this is experimenting on what I can do to create a perfect mold first, or at least a mold that creates a perfect silhouette. I don't need the exact details of a person, but you know what I mean? At least you can make it out as a person and their hair and et cetera, et cetera. But to do it in a way with my hands, with the knowledge that I know and can acquire, that wouldn't take. I couldn't imagine how long it would take for a sculptor to even be able to make someone out of clay, let alone wood. You know what I mean?
That's dedication. I think the wood one would be a lot quicker than you think. Like one of those chainsaw wielding people, they make those sculptures in like an hour sometimes.
But how long would it take us to make that sculpture?
Oh, I don't think it would take it all that long. I think wood carving is I really don't. I think that wood carving is probably something that could be learned, because you just said you don't need the exact detail of it to be picture perfect. You just need the silhouette.
You must be a god.
Well, I am a sculptor. Yeah. I'm not a god, but that is the thing that I am most familiar with.
Look, man. Okay. Let's say the wood, right?
Right.
You're creating a mold. So you're cutting depth into the wood just to create a silhouette. You would maybe go over it with whatever sculpting tools or whatever to get a perfect round and contour and stuff, I believe. And then you're filling it and doing that.
No, you probably have to put the barrel. I mean, you would probably have to put the carved tree into something that you can pour a mold liquid around.
See, that's crazy, bro. versus. So you're telling me that is easier than for me to figure out to find a plastic material or an actual elemental material that won't melt and can sustain that type of heat. Make a little mold where I'll jump in myself face first. I will hold my breath for 20 seconds. I can do that. And
I
then
don't
do
think
my
there's anything
back.
that cures that fast. That it
Bro,
wouldn't be
I'll
crazy
sit in it for
expensive.
hours. I'm there. Look, how about give me a mannequin? I'll test it with that. You know
No,
what I mean?
see,
But
that's what you should use. You
a
should use a
mannequin?
mannequin. And
Yeah, you
that's
see?
why I was suggesting
There we
carve the
go.
tree.
Understood. I can see that now. See that? You see how we came to that? We had to talk about it. Okay. I could do
No, of
that.
course.
That's
That
nice.
was
Okay,
a
so this
full
is what Burrito
conversation.
Dow is about.
Yes. It's about arriving at the most effective solution for a creative problem.
Yes.
We really solve problems out here.
That's all I'm saying, bro. I don't have issues because we solve them. That's the life of freedom, man. You don't have to worry about shit. A problem? I love problems. You know what I
And
mean?
that's on Feta.
On me. Put
I
that on
don't
my
want
Speaking of
peace.
back.
Feta,
I
hey
want
Noel, why
problems.
don't you come up? Can someone invite Noel, please? We should get Noel up here.
Null never comes up.
We need Noel to come up and say hi.
He just
Hi.
looks at us from afar.
Yeah, he really do just be looking at us from afar with his little sippy.
He does have a great sippy. What are the general feelings about sippies? We haven't had a
Sippies are
full-on.
God
Sippy
tier.
W.
God.
All right, basics aside, Sippy W, Bubble, Goat, we're very grateful for everything that Bubble does as the Sip Lord himself. He has created something beautiful out of a simple joke to be just shared among friends that has slowly become like a weird cult classic in a way. It's almost like an indie film that everyone really loves and is like meta and accepted by people in all circles. It's like My Own Worst Enemy by Lit. You know, you can play that song anywhere and people immediately get really into it. And I think that's what we're creating here with Sippies is something that is universally appreciated by those who know. And it doesn't have to be anything more serious than that.
Wait, Reddy, did you not see the NFT ethics thread? I thought that Subtle Bubble was, doing some like bad working conditions or like, underpaying people or something. I think gotta get off the train.
We
Hey,
gotta
yo.
FUD the Sip Lord. I don't know if I can support that. He's done too much for us here. I would need to see some hard evidence before I go abandoning the Sip Lord in any capacity.
Same. I don't know how I'm ever going to be able to give up this PFP.
How could you find something more personal than something that embodies all the things that are you?
Yeah, that's what's so crazy about this. It's just like we're in Web 3.0. He's doing, PFP 7.0 right now or something,
Yeah. He's playing 4-dimensional chess.
There we go.
Indeed.
It's 4-dimensional,
hi,
and the fourth
Bubble.
dimension is time. Hi, I'm Bubble. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Bubble.
Yo, why
Hi,
are you guys like
Oh,
defamating me like publicly out here on Spaces? Come on,
Hi,
you first you
Bubble.
made a mold, and then you carried your pitchforks for me. Come on.
We're just
hey,
so
brother.
Hi.
inspired, and we had to trick you into coming up
No,
here.
that was cute. I really appreciate y'all. The love is real, and yeah, honestly, Sippies wouldn't be around if it weren't for Burrito. So, shout out Burrito, shout out Hilda. Kind of, was curious more about stuff, and then the conversation went, and I'm just drawing here, so I'm just vibing. But
What are you curious about?
yeah, I mean, Hilda, I'm sure you get into like a routine with work, like, everything online kind of happens every day of the week. It doesn't really matter if it's a weekend or if it's a weekday sometimes. So I'm curious, like, what kind of things do you do, or what kind of things that happen and you take notice of that keep it fresh for you?
Ooh,
Or is that even
that's a
important?
banger of a question. No, I think it's really important to keep it fresh, right? I'm just trying to think through like what is it week to week? Is it new drops and new art? Is it I don't know. I think, I mean, I think it's even more core and simple than that. Like it's just it's my network and kind of like the whole hobbies become you sort of thing. Like it's just kind of my default. I feel like I got to actively pull myself away from this. Does that make
No,
sense?
that totally makes sense. And I mean, from what I've been listening so far in the conversation and what you've mentioned of how you've progressed into this space, like it's watching that progression of not even just the connection growing, but the artist within that connection, like evolving like Pokemon, I might say. Come on. Okay, I'm not gonna say that, but
You just did.
Nailed it. Nailed it. No, but that's what and at this point it is becoming so many things. There's the relationships, there's us hanging out and having fun, but then there is new art and drops I'm looking forward to and things I'm excited to buy. Um, and then there's the work I'm doing in the Discord and trying to come up with new things and stuff there. Like honestly, at this point I don't have enough time to do all the things. I'm starting to have to get more strategic about it, but that's in a lot of ways that's a good place to be.
no, I feel that. One thing that's been on my mind, and I'm curious to hear your take on it, is with just the amount of stuff that can happen, like I feel that sometimes it's a detriment to really nail down exactly the path you want to take because that kind of takes away from the things that can pop up and surprise you. So I've been curious around the importance of moving in a certain level of uncertainty. Do you feel like that resonates at all with you, or that you just feel safer with like knowing what's ahead and having kind of a more of a structure?
No, that resonates big time. So, in just my short 18 months here, this has changed so much. Like every 3 to 6 months, it's just a completely different thing that I'm doing each day, and feelings and everything has changed so much. So, I already know today that 12 months from now, I'm going to be in a completely different place doing some completely different shit, and I have no idea what that's going to be. Um, but what you're kind of digging at here is that we do have to, just as in life, we need to have some sort of North Star or guidance or some place we're kind of aiming for. And I think that is what gets lost day after day when you're just opening it up, you're scrolling. I know all of us have troubles keeping ETH in our wallets, right? You got some ETH, you're like, oh, I'm spending this shit immediately. Um, I think the distractions are a huge deal and we need to be super mindful of them. And I need to do a lot better job on that front. But yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's
where do
so
I want to go? I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. I'd love to work full time in Web3 and still be able to do all of this. And we'll see.
I
How,
don't know.
how do you feel about that subtle bubble?
Oh, I mean, Uh, yeah, thanks for asking my kind of view on it. I mean, the question rises for me from the fact that Sippies came out of nowhere, and it's something that I wouldn't have been able to plan. So it's just kind of like catching a glimpse of what could be in terms of, financial independence for an independent artist. That's too many times to say independence, but for that to occur for someone like me, I feel like requires to be open to it even happening, but then also the ability to continue developing it. So being open to the directions I want to develop it in uh, has been something that's been in my mind, and I've been thinking of the factors that limit it, being my actual knowledge to what's possible and my creativity to what I want to make it into. So, like, I think the same thing kind of applies with a Discord or with even like a piece of art where you have a blank canvas and you can do anything in it. The community can choose to be active one day and really get that deep connection or sporadically or have events. It's really like up to um, what you want to do. So, I don't mean to just ramble here, but I guess my view on moving with a level of just, I forgot the word I used, but just unknown factor to it is just being open to whatever presents itself and trying to make the most of it.
Dude, I'm with you. And it's a yes and that. A, a way that I've always kind of looked at life is when someone gives me a little tiny crack in the door, it's my mission to bust that door open as wide as I can and see what's in that room and see what I can discover. Because it often takes someone kind of giving you a hand or giving you an opportunity in order to even get that door cracked open.
Yep.
And the start of that was for me with Thank You X almost like 15, 16 months ago. I was like hanging out in the Discord and he was like, "You want to be a mod?" And I was like, "Sure." And then that I looked at as a crack in the door. And then, 8 months ago, I was talking to T-Joe and he's like, "One day I might do the Discord and have a mod." And I was like, "Here's a crack in the door. Let's just slam this fucking door open and let's see what we can find."
I completely agree with that. And something I would even add to it is that sometimes when you're not ready for that door or something, like, you can always go back when you're better prepared. And just like the line of thinking of there's constant progression in this space and we continue to move and learn new things. Like, it's in the same way you can hit up a collector, like you can hit up a random artist or a friend that you used to talk to, and like that might spark something, I think. So just in general, being around other like-minded creatives is very important.
Yeah. And I don't know how long you've been around. I connected with a random guy, Breezy, in the Discord. I don't know if anyone here knows Breezy. I don't know him.
No.
But I was talking to him in the Thank You X Discord in February of 2021, like a long freaking time ago. And it's really nice seeing these faces. Like, we all really are like living in a town together. Yeah, one day this is going to be a city, it's going to be a metropolis, whatever, but right now it's still just a town.
And not to interject, but I like it when it's a town and not a damn high school. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Ooh,
because
bars.
Thank you. No, but sometimes, man, this shit feels like a high school, so it's nice when it's a town and there's like parks and places to go.
What a very real bubble.
Man, Bubble's on fire today. Slug, how you doing, buddy? Oh, Slug doesn't like us. I'm not the host. Reddy's the host. I'm going to shut up.
Oh, wait, whoops. What's your question? Oh, yeah, my bad. Oh, wait, Joe requested to come up. I'll invite Slug. Where you at, Slug? Stop hiding.
He's a speaker. He's just not saying anything. He's just being a butthole.
No, on my phone, it's saying he's down in the crowd. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
We got him.
What happened? I'm sorry. I was doing something. I'm like doing work right now.
Yo, I went down the listener for a second because I'm making dinner and stuff. I'm juggling 3 courses. It's very challenging. But Hilda, or not 3 courses, 3 components of a dish, Anyways, it's not about me, it's about you, Hilda. What's happening? It's so cool to hear a little bit more about your story, just because we got so much in common. And actually, you answered my question. I was wondering like how the origin of becoming a mod for the TJO Discord like kind of came about. So you answered it. But yeah, man, it's just so cool hanging with you. I don't know.
You're dope, man.
Shit.
You're just such a welcome presence around here, and I always feel guilty because you do such a good job of making these memes. You're just doing awesome shit, and I'm like, I'm too busy. Boo. Yeah, man, you're doing awesome shit.
Oh, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, I definitely like you. I like neglect my job or like. Well, and you didn't say that, but for me, and I can kind of balance things. I've been in corporate culture for 6-7 years now, and kind of like know how to kind of like work it. And this is just really important to me. So I may as well just like make this meme and over GM back people right now. I got the time. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I love that. And I also appreciate you sharing. So I think the first time I ever listened to you, you were sharing that, yeah, you have some fancy corporate job, but you've gotten to a point where you're calling some shots and you're able to, live a second life in a way on here.
Oh,
And
let's
that's what
go.
and
Yeah.
that's what I've been trying to do, and I've been doing it, but I just struggle with it's just a negative, it's just that there's always this dark cloud, and I'm getting in yelling matches about contracts, and it's I just don't want to be doing any of it. And but yeah, I'm figuring it out. This isn't my therapy session.
No, but I
But
think,
it also is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's where you find the common ground with people, and then you take it offline, and you're like, oh shit, you know what? Like, this is kind of how I've been playing my situation, because those storms do come where, like, people are two different groups are going to be yelling about some shit that I have soon. I know it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's just going to be in the culture I've been in for as long as I have. I'm like, with this and kind of take the hit. Like, I'd rather take the hit with my rep at my job and be like, just be lazy and like call it what it is, and like, give it here. This is just fun. It's like you said, it's like I'm clearly really happy, and hearing that in other people, really everyone in this like audience, it's like that's why we're all like vibing every day, because there's like a very similar sentiment with how we connect with like the technology, the art, us as artists and collectors. Very cool stuff. So I just wanted to vibe with you for a second on all that shit that it's cool.
100%, dude.
I
Appreciate
wouldn't
you.
want to be
Appreciate
doing
your
this.
words.
It is unpredictable sometimes, but like this is the space that I like want to be in, because the connections that I've made to other people have been irreplaceable, and like some of the most important that I feel like I've ever made in my life.
Love you, Reddy. You're also just killing it as host, man. You're making me
Thank
look
you.
bad here.
Oh,
They're gonna want
stop!
to
You guys
replace me.
took it away. I'm happy to have this discussion going on. It's amazing to have so many amazing people up here just talking about whatever comes up. And I that's my favorite kind of discussion. Like, I don't necessarily have a direction for these before I go into them. They're not really like a pointed interview in any particular direction. They're just kind of wherever the conversation goes. And that's why I'm happy to have them. If you're a creative person and you're talking to another creative person, there should be at least enough in between you to have an hour-long conversation. I feel like it's just, I love learning about people. I love what I've learned about people. The perspective that I've gotten on different types of art through having these conversations has been irreplaceable.
Yeah,
I love
I
y'all,
agree.
man. Y'all are great people.
Well, thank you
I've
so
met
much.
so many great people.
Thank you. I know we've obviously gone over the normal hour tonight, but we got some great conversation going, so we're definitely happy to keep it rolling. Thank you to everyone for contributing whatever amount of time you spent with us so far. This has been one of my favorite nights that I think has been on record. So by all means, let's keep it rolling. I'm having a great time.
I mean, maybe I got a bit of a difficult question, open-ended. What are some things that you all may feel that you're not getting from this space, whether it be the tools for communication being inadequate, actual face-to-face interactions? I don't know. I'm just kind of like, what's missing, and what could be done better, other than the usual, Twitter is trash and it's bad for your health.
Just
Any
kind of
ideas?
the fact that we're in a place that's moving so quick and so fast at all times, and like every day you're discovering new people and new things to be aware of. I think one of the most important things is to just not let it swallow you. I think one of the challenges is really just understanding that you need to kind of mitigate expectations to other people about your output. We shouldn't be pressured to be scrutinized by the algorithm or feedback loops or performances that we have to do all the time. It's impossible to expect every artist to be consistent on a robotic, like, predicted timeline every single day. To produce the amount of content to sustain something like that every single day for the entirety of your life is just outrageous. So I mean, we gotta get through to people to understand, like, what they should expect, and it should be different for every artist, but it should also be something that's understood that we're not moving at the pace of the space, we're moving at the pace of ourselves.
That was
Facts,
really
dude.
well. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was so well
indeed,
said.
indeed.
And like,
I think as an artist too, being in a space where it is moving so fast. I think I was in a chat where someone said, like, you look at it like every 7 seconds, and once you see something 7 seconds, it's already something else. Um, I think it's hard that people have to break this psychological barrier because it's something that's new to them themselves. Without somebody telling them and giving them advice on things that we've dealt with or seen firsthand. We definitely do have to keep our head in these spaces and just remember that the consistency is everything you need to worry about as far as being a person, your workflow. You don't have to make 100 pieces a day. Just because someone else can doesn't mean that you have to. It's genuinely just the flow of the engine and how you work as a person. There's no use comparing yourself to other people when we're just all here to coexist and learn from each other at the end of the day.
poignant
Yeah,
said. I love that.
like patrons don't need to be churches anymore, you know?
Nah, man. I think that's I think that's one of the most important aspects of Web3 that I've seen from the start is this or the space or whatever, because there really is an unparalleled level of accessibility in space not seen anywhere else.
I'd say that that's like my biggest bet in the space is that there's a connection between collector and artist that I've never seen in any like other place. And as a collector first, being able to make that connection, like you all just talked about, that happened for me. I mean, it happened for me with Jack Cato first. I wrote a thread about him, nice long thread. Ton of abstract people reached out. I'm not crying. I just like took a hit of weed and it's like went down the long weird. Anyways, I'm not crying. You are. But yeah, like
Okay, crying is good.
it is. It's healthy for the soul.
It is.
It is. I do agree with this. We are a pro cry household over here. But anyways, okay. So yeah, I wrote this thread, and it was kind of like my wake up call, like Hilda was talking about. And this kind of laps back to your question, Hilda, around like just kind of issues in the space, which can be there's. Oh, word. I'm on my patio, so I kind of rug sometimes. It's very random. Anyways, yeah. I for it to some degree, where I'm like,
Wait,
what's up?
Now you're right.
now you rugged.
Oh no. Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
You're back.
Okay.
Door was the.
But yeah, like once I met the abstract community and I narrowed like my focus to just that, that's where I really started to see real relationships form. And like case in point is I'm going to Lisbon, Portugal next week to meet a ton of these people, and just like vibe out art, culture. You know, it is breakpoint for Solana, but none of us are doing that. We're all just hanging out, like doing our thing, you know, eating food, partying, you know, not stuff that I normally do, but like the wife gave me the approval stamp. Like these are my buds. And yeah, it's like that's what I think it really is about, right? Like Web3 creating and facilitating like real IRL experiences that I believe like are pretty enriching, like long term. Like conferences are cool and all, but like to really like me and Tony Turbo are splitting a hotel. Like we have our hotel booked. We've never met. We talk every day in DMs. Like I highly suggest getting a best friend in this space. You know, he's mine, I'm his. You know, and to meet him and his brother. So
great advice.
I think stuff like that I'm hearing in this conversation, and it's just like it's really warming because like I think that's why we're all here. That's why we're all friends because we're doing this actively every day.
That's for sure. I can't think of anything else that I would want to be doing at the way in which I'm doing it in Web3. I don't know. Maybe that sentence was a little jarbled up, but like I love it here. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, you know, even if it's hard work, even if it's unpredictable at times, like, and even if I got a job doing something other than art, you know, I've been freelance for a really long time, but even if I went and got a job somewhere else for a little while, I would still be 100% using all my free time and extra finances at that point for the artwork that I want to create, because I want to build this space. A net win for any of us is a net win for all of us, especially because, you know, any positive recognition we can get for the legitimizing of the space is huge, because in the beginning we had such a difficult like speed bump and hurdle with all the PFPs and celebrity pump and dumps and scandals or whatever, cringe behavior or whatever, and it's like now people hear NFTs and they're like, ugh, immediately. Like most people don't even want to be onboarded. So we got to start calling it like digital assets or continuing to refer to it as that or whatever, because if we want to attract more people to the space, we got to take control of the narrative here, and we got to show people that there's something way more valuable than what we've already experienced, like going on here, that we can't really turn a blind eye to.
And I think, sorry to jump in here, but like that is the thing that I think will slowly just unfold like in the future, which is the true like nice parts of the space will have the proper terminology or be recognized for what it is. Because like a lot of the people I talk to that aren't necessarily connected in crypto or NFT or anything, when they hear I do crypto art, like I have to kind of explain myself in a way. And as soon as like I mention the fact that I have friends in America and Brazil that I've been able to visit and do art with, and like we've met through Twitter, they're like, "Oh, wait, that's sick actually." And it's like the truth of it is it's just artists are just creating more networks now. It's like we can work with this universal coin and really put ideas together and cross bridges in a way we haven't been able to before. Like, sure, there's been like social media and Tumblr and all that stuff in the past, but it's wild that you can do like a split with someone that's not even in the same continent. And it's yeah.
No, dude, well said. And like there's so many like creative barriers that are being bust down all the time between accessibility and more people having access to the internet and people having access to creative programs like AI and stuff. Like we really are in one of the biggest, if not the cusp of the biggest creative renaissance that has ever hit the human race. And I don't mean that in any lesser terms. Like the ability to just type in words and see images that are completely unique and new is something that can make literally anyone have the tools necessary for exploring their imagination for the first time in ways that has never been possible before.
Right.
Yes.
And that's sorry.
Go ahead, SB. Go ahead.
All right. Appreciate it. I mean, I was just gonna say like that is like that's a huge step for just art as a whole. And so with it, I would love the mindset of, treating artists like artists and not like projects to be better placed in people's minds before everyone is just AI super powered, like making 100 pieces in a minute, like level, because that idea of collectors not necessarily treating artists in the same way that they do collections is just something that I feel like will just come from people like understanding artists on a personal level and connecting with the person behind the account rather than I don't know. I guess it comes differently to each person, but that's my little ramble. Sorry, Hilda.
No, don't be sorry. I'm just thinking about what you're saying. Yeah. You made me. That was just such a great thought. I totally lost my train of thought. Oh,
We can
that's what
move
I
in
was
any
gonna say.
direction.
Oh yeah. So I think, moving forward, exactly what you're saying, SB. Like this is a town. We're very small right now, and there can be a big future. It is going to grow, and there's going to be really good things about that growth, but then there's going to be a lot of bad things about that growth. I think the point at when we're really finding some success is when the word NFT isn't used so often because it's a fucking stupid acronym. Art is art, and whatever artist they are, an artist, and so as the small business guy over here, I also, on the other side, I think that there's a business case for NFTs and Web3 technology on a broad scale, completely outside of art. And I think that, we also shouldn't forget.
No, definitely not. I think that's something really valuable to keep in mind. there's really just so many different things that we could see applied here in the future, and I think that we really are at the very beginning of something that we can't possibly see the end of or accurately predict right now, because the space just catches on to something and runs with it, whether that be a joke, whether that be a novel approach to something, whether that be an exploit or some weird airdrop that people can take advantage of. Like, there's new things that get introduced all the time that can really shake things up. I mean, just look at a couple weeks ago when Manifold dropped a whole bunch of new features that I think fundamentally changed a lot. I think that the curation and the galleries and all these things, like Manifold really is trying to give the tools to the people. And that's what I think the core sentiment of the space has been about and will continue to be about, because it's the biggest thing. Like, it really is. Like, we have no idea where this is going to go, and there's
Seen it over and over again with some different artists and different drops or releases or things they're trying to do. Like, if you're not going about it the right way, you're not going to be successful.
absolutely. No, I think that's entirely true. This really is just. I wake up every day and I'm not sure what's gonna happen. Some days it's bad, some days it's good, but like it is just fundamentally super interesting. Kai, you got your hand up? What's up?
Um, so relating to that last statement, there's a proper way. I don't. I came into this space kind of ignorant to a lot of things and strides of how things were supposed to go, I guess, in a manner, right? And I did start to learn and take in these certain aspects of posting, formatting, um, minting, and putting things into collections, right? But as an artist and just the type of person I am, I wonder if I'm really pushing an entire, like, I do what I want. Like, I don't really care for rules. I don't care for authority. Like, I love to do things my way, and um, I don't really care for a norm, sort of, I guess. And not to degrade or to say anything, you guys are making a standard, more so something that we should keep as a guideline and structure. I just think and wonder if me pushing an entire I'm doing, my thing. I'm going every day is a new day, and I'm doing something just purely off of how I want and how I feel. Tomorrow I could quit doing everything for, you know what I mean, if I genuinely want it, and who knows? Like, it's just like I would still hope that I would get the same understanding and appreciation as I would if I were to conform to any type of I guess standard, and kind of make it my persona when it comes to Web3.
I just heavily resonate with that, especially the idea of not fitting into a mold in terms of what is standard in a space that's this new and you know just it hasn't been fully explored yet. It just doesn't make sense to fit into a mold. So I
True.
th- I think like as artists who have some knowledge of the ways you can approach this kind of like stuff on chain, it's kind of cool too to explore creatively how you can do so. And I think that that's where like the advances are going to come in from, because like there's no point in something having all the bells and whistles if it isn't practical or it's not like actually how an artist would put it on chain. So it really is going to come from the people that are like dancing around making a piece and thinking like I need to drop this piece in a way I haven't dropped anything before. And yeah, like I don't know, and it's going to be interesting to see like how different things adapt into this. Like I've played around with it in the past where I did a 7 frame animation loop and a 7 editions of it. Each edition got a frame from it, and it was like watercolor drawing kind of stuff. Like, and that kind of like reflects how people will sell like cells from animations. And I think like in the way that we're talking about NFT being more than just art, like we'll see this expansion naturally just by trying to encompass everything that we kind of do. Like right now we're fulfilling aesthetic needs, but there's talk of restaurants using this kind of stuff and like delivery weed services and shit. So
Oh
it's like a
yeah.
matter of time until it just all connects, you know?
We're at the epicenter of every sort of media that's ever existed in given form right now.
It's exciting.
Yeah. Oh, it really is. But this has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for everyone who has come up so far. The floor is still open if anyone else wants to request. Come on up, contribute to the conversation. We still got some fantastic people down there that I love hearing from that haven't stepped up yet. We got Cliff, we got Tristan, we got Danil, we got Noel, we got Sabrina, we got even Novus is down there. So if any of you guys want to come on up, this has been a great conversation. Yaga's back down there. You can always come back up. We got Sam coming on up.
Hilda, here's a question for you. What kind of additional information would you like from artists outside of just their art and what medium it is?
What other information? I mean, the question that I'm just always asking is, like, how can I help as a collector and as a mod or whatever? It really just is usually, how can I help? Yeah. That's
Well, I love
simple.
that. Yeah, I love
I
that.
really
Yeah.
think you're doing a great job, man. Like I do really think that you're doing a lot for the space just within how you navigate through it and the things that you do already. I think a lot of people are very appreciative for what you've contributed for us.
Appreciate that, man. And I just want to have fun. I just want to make it more fun. Really have to. Also, for you guys to sell your shit.
Hell yeah. Well, I think this has definitely been a lot more fun because of people like you, Hilda. So again, thank you for being here. We're probably going to wrap it up in about 10 minutes or so, guys. Our fantastic guest, Hilda, has to step out in just a little bit. So we want to be respectful of everybody's time, even though this has been a fantastic conversation. I'm sure all of us could keep it going for quite some time. But if anyone has any questions, please feel free to get them in now.
Hey.
Oh, what up,
What's
Sam?
Guys? Yeah, I just was trying to get the kid down and trying to get ready for an art fair thing this weekend. So I've enjoyed listening and hanging out a little bit. Just cracked open a beer and just trying to wind down. But wanted to say I love you guys, and Hilda, you're awesome. And I agree with what Reddy was just saying. You are a huge encouragement to a lot of creatives in this space, and you might not think that you're a creative, but I think you're a really creative person because you're always thoughtful and creative in how you're supporting people and trying to expand how you're connecting with people, and you're always thinking of things with Tijo's community and what you've been doing in the Discord and branching out and meeting new people. I don't see anybody being as creative as you right now doing all that, so I just want to give you some props, man. But yeah, that's
Appreciate
it.
you, bro. Dude, you're a big part of making me get a little more creative in other ways too, man. You're the one who's got me writing again and doing some different things, and your artwork especially has inspired me, and I think about it a lot. So
Let's go.
yeah, let's just blow each other some more here. No, I love you, buddy. Appreciate that. You got a busy week.
Oh, my bad. I totally hate when that
Oh,
happens.
you're good.
Sorry for cutting anyone off.
Oh, you didn't cut anyone off.
But yeah, this has been an amazing conversation. We'll definitely have to have this sort of conversation again in the near future, Hilda. It's always a pleasure to sit down with you and chop it up.
Yeah, appreciate that. I actually, something I've been about recently is I just want to get to talk to more collectors. Fuck, did my headphones die? Yeah, I want to talk to more collectors and interview more collectors. So whether it be part of Wrecked Monday or whatever, it's just good to get that different perspective. And I'm curious. I just want to learn. Like I only have my perspective, and I sit here and talk to artists all day. I don't know if you guys do a better job than me of talking to collectors. I hope so. I mean, you're all collectors yourselves too, so.
Yeah, no, I think that's very true. I think there are a lot of us that mutually enjoy collecting just as much as we like supporting each other as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, sorry. I said that sentence a little silly. I meant to say we enjoy supporting each other as much as we like creating our own work as well.
There you go. Well said.
Well, thank
well
you.
said. Well, Reddy, I want to say a big thanks to you, man. This was amazing.
Dude,
you are
thank you
really
for
good
coming
at
out.
this. You made it
thank
very
you so
easy
much.
and fun. And yeah, thanks to everyone for listening and hanging out and just being yourselves and putting yourselves out there and putting your work out there and challenging yourselves. Like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to just show up here every day.
Dude, hell yeah, it is. And I'm grateful for every single friend that I've made in this space. This has been such a great night. This has been such a great group of people to be hanging out with, and I can't wait for the next opportunity we get to all have a discussion about this sort of stuff again.
Hell yeah, buddy. All
right. Everyone, thank
Adios.
you so much for tuning in. We're going to be wrapping it up here. This space will be available to listen in on our YouTube channel. Burrito DAO records our spaces and we post them up for anyone who might have missed any part of this. Thank you so much for everyone who contributed to the conversation. Thank you so much for spending time with us, and I can't wait to do it again in the near future, and we will see you guys at our next interview on Friday. Peace.